Juan-O's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like ho.
Oh man, I know they want you to think that this crisis and this migration and these illegal aliens are not affecting America, but it is. And what it all boils down to is, listen here, Americans. While they had you sitting in the house and taking shots you did not know what it is, had you missing your family's funeral, while they played on your heartstrings telling you it was a dangerous disease out here killing everybody, do you know what they were doing? They were bringing people from all over the world here without checks and balances. And they made us focus on the border, but the whole time they was flying 747s to all of the small towns. This whole time, giving them jobs we didn't even know existed. Putting them in our neighborhoods we didn't even see them. And now, they want us to just give them everything that we worked so hard for. Now they want to explain us being in debt without explaining whose idea was it for us to take on the responsibility of giving these people so much money. They kept us distracted with the war in Ukraine. They kept us distracted with everything but what they was doing in our own backyard. As an American, I love everybody. But as an American, America's first. And I'm a real American. And the fact that you've been giving our resources away while telling me there's no resources for us is a problem. But let's check out these other Americans who you think I wouldn't agree with. But I fucking agree with these guys. But check them out.
Voiced their concerns over a recent influx of Haitian migrants.
There is no way the State Department can vet these individuals.
And I just want to say something. Black people move the culture. In America, and being black means you have at least 2 grandparents who have the actual slave gene in them, because DNA carries memory. If you don't have 2 grandparents that's from the soil here, that was either bought, sold, enslaved, house niggerized, or utilized to produce, then you can't be black. You're not black. You're melanated. You're whatever your nationality, whatever they called you over there. But make no mistake about it, we fought to be called black. That was our idea. My grandparents did that when they didn't want to be called colored. And I didn't understand why my grandparents didn't want to be called colored. But I fucking understand it now. I get it now, because now y'all trying to mix us in before we appeal to the world court or the United Nations about our situation. You want to mix it in and call everybody colored. The same way y'all did with the natives with the 10-cent Indian thing. Boy, I used to think my grandfather was crazy, but a lot of the shit he used to sit me down and talk to me about when I was a whipper snapper is making sense, baby. But check out these Pecker Woods and what they got to say.
Please let him talk.
You have shut up. I was very specific. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you to leave.
And this in Alabama, by the way.
Here to react, David Phillips, who was at that meeting in an Alabama report.
Hold on. And I just want to, you notice they had an angry black woman that just shut them down, right? Now that's a black woman that they gonna never give no real power to, but they gonna keep her in a position of power over others. Just, they give her, pay her enough to keep her in debt, give her enough power to be disliked, but really she's pushing somebody else's agenda. Why wouldn't she let them men speak? This is in Alabama. About their town, in their city hall. Now look, we're going to let Santa Claus and the big show tell you what's going on. Let's check them out.
Republican mayoral candidate for that town, Brian Taunton. Welcome to you both, fellas. Philip, let me start with you. You're the guy who was at that podium. You were asking questions about what's going on in town to your city council, who should be responsive to you. Why'd they cut your mic?
That's what I was wondering at the time. That was the section of the meeting that's open to public comment. So when I stepped to the mic, I had a few questions for them, and they basically shut it down, excuse me, before I could even voice really any of the questions that I had. I think it was more of the fact that they really didn't want to give the answers more than they didn't have the answers.
Okay.
As I mentioned in other statements, that's the whole point, that the podium and the mic are there, is so the public can, ask the questions they have.
That's why the city council has a job, to answer questions that people in the city have. Brian, tell us about what's going on. You've got a small town there, and you've got a potential problem, it sounds like, with migrants coming in. What's going on?
Well, we do have a problem.
Ain't no fucking potential problem. Go on, get him, Santa Claus.
First, I'd like to say thank you for having us here this morning to discuss this, but the problem is much bigger than we are. We're a small town of 12,000 people. And while I appreciate Dave's comment, the bottom line is this: we're not equipped to deal with this. Our city council and small town governments across the U.S. are not equipped to deal with this problem. Dave shouldn't have even had to be at that meeting to have this discussion. Our city council is not prepared to have this kind of discussion. We've all been caught flat-footed on this, and bottom line is this falls back on a failed.
Flat-footed mean not ready for the fight. Just sad note. I know I'm young, but I was raised around a lot of old people, so my terminology, my language, how I can communicate, it spans over the years of about 100 years. Really 120. Yeah.
Immigration policy of the Biden-Harris administration and the failures of Alejandro Mayorkas and Homeland Security. We should not be dealing with these issues, but we're being forced to, and we simply do not have the infrastructure to support them.
Nah, I don't know if you caught what Santa Claus said, but he just gave you three different levels of government security before a citizen has to deal with these type of issues. Because in America, once these type of issues start to affect citizens, us citizens got the right to, what we got the right to do? You want to know what us citizens got the right to do? We got the right to chitty chitty bang bang. We ain't got to wait on a thing. You telling me people ain't supposed to be here that's here? Oh, the British are coming. The British are coming. That's what the fuck we supposed to do as Americans. That's what it's all about, baby. I digress.
And this is what Dave and others in our city are afraid of. These people have not been properly vetted, and they very well, I believe they are wonderful people, but many have been simply recruited into the United States by outside sources, and that comes with some major issues. But like I said, we look at what's happening in America, and we don't have the resources. We're already stretched out as a small community.
He right. Now look, this is where hypocrisy and all of this come in. And this is where the strategicness of this come in. Go back and look at your news, because they always tell us to do research, but we're never specific with each other about what the research to prove the proper points, because a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of disinformation. Go look back when Haiti was having all them problems and they was in the Civil War. The Civil War may still be going on. They were saying we couldn't accept them. They was letting Florida stop them while letting everybody else in the border. But come to fucking find out, the American government been flying Haitians in, and not the ones that was motherfucking running from the Civil War. They was flying in people to work, people that just wanted to leave, whoever, while they let all the motherfuckers die from that Civil War sit there. And they've been stashing them in white neighborhoods, while they've been putting the Venezuelans and the Asians and the Russians and them other motherfuckers in black neighborhoods. And racism and separatism has kept us from talking to the white folks living in their small communities while we in the city. But now Shout out to my man Trump. Because y'all tried to discredit him about the people eating peasants and pheasants instead of dogs. Y'all tried to discredit him, but he was correct. Because I'm in the Midwest. I had already seen a town hall meeting with the black brother saying, yo, we got these Haitians in here. They can't drive. They can't do this. What are we doing? Why is us in a town of 10,000 been overrun by 4,000 and 5,000 of people? Why do us in this small town losing all our jobs, but y'all got jobs for these people? A lot of shit going on. And you willing to vote for Kamala or whoever the fuck? I leave that alone. Get your hustle on. We out. Santa Claus just brought you a gift, baby. You don't want to open it? That's between you and motherfucking Santa Claus. But Juan-O told you, and we out.